Our big story at 5:30 tonight, a stranger killed in cold blood. The man was ambushed while he was just gardening in his own front yard in Ocala. Police are still searching for a motive. And tonight we are learning new details about the man accused of pulling the trigger.
The police chief says he was a homeless military veteran, and Fox 35's Marie Ettinger has a closer look at the investigation.
29-year-old Isaac Ezekiel Toy was a military veteran. Ocala Police Chief Mike Balkin said Toy served 18 months out of an 8-year contract in the Army and was discharged. Now he's accused of murdering an unarmed stranger. Ocala police say Toy shot Harold Witt Harper in the head while Harper was outside gardening.
At this stage, we continue to believe this was a random and senseless act of violence. We have no indication that the suspect knew Mr. Harper or that he had any reason to harm him.
Chief Mike Balkin says Toy has only had one brief run-in with Ocala PD. That was 3 years ago, a trespass warning. The chief says Toy has been living in Brandon, Florida until around 6 weeks ago when he moved to a homeless camp on State Road 200 and County Road 484 near where his family lives in Marion Oaks.
And he was captured on surveillance video on foot in the downtown area just minutes before the murder. We have not been able to determine how that transportation to and from Marion Oaks was facilitated, and that's simply because the people that have that information are being completely uncooperative with our investigation.
Chief Balkin says on the day of the homicide, police believe Toy left his mother's home in Marion Oaks and came to Ocala to get social services from a church near Harper's home in the historic downtown area.
We know that the suspect purchased a firearm from a local store just 2 days prior to this homicide, but due to the required 3-day holding period, he was never able to take possession of that firearm. We are still investigating how he acquired the firearm used in this crime.
Marion County, a terrifying random act of violence in Ocala. Police there say the man you see here was arrested, accused of shooting and killing a man in front of his home who was just out doing gardening work. This all happening on Southeast 11th Street. Investigators say this all appears to be a random act of violence. Channel 9's Q McCrae is live outside of the Marion County Jail. And Q, this is just terrified this neighborhood.
Yeah, tragedy here in Marion County that we're telling you about this morning. And according to police, this guy was in cuffs within 2 hours, but he shot a man who was a complete stranger to him. They never have met. They have no motive for this case. And this morning, the suspect's waking up behind bars here in Marion County. And it all started with a call from a neighbor who thought something looked very wrong. 29-year-old Isaac Toy is facing life behind bars. Police say it all started as a suspicious person call in a quiet Ocala neighborhood off of Southeast 3rd Street. A driver was pulling out of his driveway when a man dressed in all black motioned him to stop. According to police, the driver kept going and watched as the man appeared to rack the slide of a gun. Minutes later, just a block away, 64-year-old Harold Harper was in his front yard.
It appears that he was doing nothing more than gardening in his front yard and was senselessly killed. He was actually home with his wife, who had been out in the front yard working in the yard with him. She took a break, went inside the house, heard a gunshot, came outside and found her husband dead.
Officers already nearby from the first call say they spotted Toy walking just 2 blocks away. They cuffed him and found a pistol. Police believe this was a completely random attack with no connection between Toy and his victim. Chief Balkin says there's no danger to the public now, but the motive remains a mystery.
You know, that's what's perplexing us, our detectives as well. There is absolutely no indication of any obvious motive whatsoever.
And this morning, Toy is behind bars here in Marion County. He's expected to be in court for his first appearance later on this morning. And we did some digging and found out that this isn't his first run-in with the law. We'll talk more about that and more coming up in 30 minutes.
In Marion County, the man accused of shooting and killing another in his own front yard was in court today for the first time. Detectives say Isaac Toy randomly shot Harold Witt Harper.
And now West 2's Luana Munoz is hearing from the neighbor who called 911.
Gentle and kind and just a very sweet person. His passion was gardening.
That's how neighbors describe 64-year-old Harold Witt Harper. Ocala police say Harper was gardening in his front lawn in this affluent neighborhood near Southeast 3rd Street and 11th Avenue when this man, 29-year-old Isaac Toy, randomly walked up to Harper, shot and killed him. Well, a woman says she thought she heard a vehicle backfiring. That's when she came outside and realized that her neighbor had been shot. And that's when she called 911. That's got to be pretty traumatizing.
It was at the moment, and I mean for hours later, and with all the reaction and everything, yes. But like I said, we feel safe because of the response from our police. It was wonderful.
Police were already in the area after getting a call from neighbors a block away who had reported seeing a man carrying a handgun and acting suspicious. That allowed them to respond to the shooting within minutes and catch Toy walking away from the scene. He fit the description of the person neighbors complained about and was carrying a gun.
My name is Isaac Toy.
Toy appeared before a judge Thursday morning. He's facing 2 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of second-degree homicide. Other residents who live in the neighborhood were shocked, but say in today's society, people need to be aware of their surroundings.
There was this common sentiment that you should, carry a firearm and that you should be prepared in that sense, and I agree with that. As long as someone understands what they're doing with the firearm. If they have no education and it's not being done safely and responsibly, they're just as much a danger to themselves as they are to their would-be attacker.
While residents were shaken by what happened, they say they feel safe and are focused on the good memories with the neighbor they knew more than a decade.
If he wasn't doing something in his garage, he's planting flowers and reading. He just loved his yard and loved his family.